All right, we're back at the 550 here. I was waiting for a right angle die grinder. Amazon sent the right box, but the wrong unit was in the box. So I went to Harbor Freight, and they had a, I think it's a 3/8 drill. I can't remember what it is. Anyway, it's a right angle drill, pneumatic, and it was on clearance for $34. So I thought, well, heck, I'll give that a try. And it's done pretty good, particularly with the drill bits that I bought from Viking off of Amazon. They cut through it really quick, really easy. Well, the box said Viking, but this is saying Hewitt, made in USA. Anyway, these are machine drill bits, so they're shorter and they're made for drill presses. So I'm hoping I can get this in here so you can see. I needed the right angle drill so I could reach to this further stud here, and it was really hard to get to. I couldn't get a center punch on it, so I just had to kind of poke and hope, as they say, and I was able to get a hole in it. And as you can see, I can now spin out the remains of the bolt. So I might have saved the threads for the new one. Hopefully you can see it, because I can't see. There we go. So this is the remains of the bolt that was in there. What I had wanted to do was use a 7/64 drill and a 7/64 screw extractor, but it just wouldn't hold. The how can I say, when I drilled into it, it kind of flaked away, and of course I didn't get it centered either. But once I was able to get close enough, the tip of the next size up, which was a 5/32, that was able to, is that what that is? I can't see a thing anymore. Yep, 5/32. So that was able to pull it out. Amazing. It was not in there very tight, otherwise I might have had issues. We'll be back. All right, well, getting these glow plug harness connectors off the plug and out of that socket, it's pretty much a pain in the butt. This, once again, is what's left over after the first one. It's taken me quite some time. It's just so brittle, it just completely falls apart. And then the collar stayed over the glow plug and fell down. So it just took a while to get that puppy out. I've got 3 more to go, so we'll see. All right, so this is the first glow plug connector I got out. Going for the second, which is right in there. This is the condition it was in to begin with. I'm going to try to get that puppy out without mangling it and breaking it, etc. We'll be back in a second. All right, so the tool won't work on this one because of where it's broken. So not much else to do except pull this out and drill. I'm going to put a drill right in the middle, and then I'm going to put a screw in there and see if I can pull it out. It does seem to be a little bit looser than the one that was on the back. So we'll see what I can do here. Alright, so I drilled the hole with a 1/8 inch bit. And I've got the screw threaded in there. I just have no place to put this camera to show the next step, so I'll be back. I'm starting to get it out. You can see right here, a portion of it has come out complete. Unfortunately, the tool that came with the wiring harness kit broke. So now I'm going to try various other tools. I think I might see if I can do something like this and maybe a smaller one. If I had a larger head on that bolt. It's a pain in the butt. I tell you, one-handed here. Look at that. All right. Bloody hell. All right, on to the next one. All right, the next one's even in a worse place. I don't know if you can see it. I don't know if I can reach it. It's right there. Yeah, maybe from that angle. So this one's gonna be just a whole new problem. At least it's moving in there. So I think I'll probably end up having to do the same thing with the screws. So we'll be back. All right, on the next glow plug, which is the second one in from the front on the right, or the driver's side as you're sitting in it, I had to go in from the top. I kind of had to just drill blind into the plug so I could get a screw in there, and it went barely on the edge. And once I got the screw in, I was able to pry it with a wrench underneath the washer I'd put on the screw head to give me more leverage. So that one came out basically intact. I am going to vacuum out all the holes as best I can before I install the new one. So I got one more, which I'm also probably going to need to go in from the top. It's right here. Yeah. Yep. We'll be back. Just a note on how I'm drilling them. I have a 3/8 right hand or right angle drill, pneumatic. What I do first is I determine what position the drill has to be in to be able to get pressure on it and be able to hit the trigger. Because if you don't, as you're up here, that trigger is going to bounce into everything and of course power the unit. I've done it 3 or 4 times, so finally I disconnect it from the hose, then determine what position I need to drill, then I attach the hose and go from there. It just saves a lot of well, a lot of screaming and cussing and what the heck. Okay, on the far right front, or left front if you're in the driver's, I discovered as I was getting ready to drill that this one was more intact than all the others. So I was able to use the wire method and get a wire around that that lip inside that groove and pull it out quite simply. And from having taken all these out, I'm pretty sure I can say it's a matter of heat. For some reason, this is the coolest area, and it probably degrades the plastic the least, and it gets hotter and hotter as you go back to the rear. Most likely just because of the exhaust manifold and the trapped air in the back. This is in the front, is more airflow, and it's further away from the exhaust manifold. That's my guess, because this one came out really good and it was mostly intact compared to all the others. And of course that last one on the right, well, that was just basically, it was just hardened plastic, brittle, came out in pieces, parts, and dust. So at this point we have all the harness disconnected out of the plugs, and I have to say this was the way it was when I bought it, as far as the broken pieces on the harness. And I was in the impression it might be leaking, but the O-rings look fairly intact. The only one that didn't, which I couldn't tell, is that last one, because it even though I got the O-ring out, I couldn't determine whether it was actually seated properly, just because of the fact that the plug or the connector completely crumbled. So here's the old one. got the new one. After I vacuum out all the sockets, I don't know. I'm thinking about pulling the glow plugs since I have it at this point. I might do that. I'll check what the price is. I don't think it's going to cost me too much as far as time, effort. Hopefully I don't break anything. We'll be back. Alright, I got the first glow plug out. This is the furthest back on the right as you're looking at the front. A lot of burn residue. Other than that, I can't really see too much. If there was supposed to be an O-ring here, there wasn't. I dug in there and I vacuumed. So I think I'm going to have to research that and see where the O-rings are supposed to be on this thing, because I do not know yet. But hopefully you can see this. It has been scorched heavily. A lot of carbon buildup. So if anything, oh, and the other thing was, this one was completely loose. I did not have to put any torque on it at all to pull it out. I could have almost done it with my fingers if I could have got my fingers in there. So that was interesting. So I think this one's taken the most abuse. I'm going to pull out one more and compare, and we'll be back. I just did an online check. They had these at Amazon, advertised as Motorcraft, but from reading the comments, multiple, more than 5, stated that they were knockoffs, that they were not Motorcraft. So a little bit more searching, I found them at O'Reilly's, Motorcraft, sealed in bag, $10.99 each. So I think I'll go that route. And there is no secondary O-ring anywhere, so I don't have to worry about something that fell inside. When I took it out, I was worried about that. The only O-ring apparently is the one that's on the harness itself, the connector. Here it is. So anyway, so I'm going to pull one more and determine the amount of carbon on it. I might do the whole side. I like to do all 8, but you know, this is taking a long time. I don't think I want to do all 8. The other side's not leaking and they don't appear to be damaged. I think I'll stick to this side. We'll be back. Alright, this is the second glow plug I've removed. It's the second one from the far back right as you're looking at the front. And it came out heavily soaked in oil. I hope that's not an indication of something. Also, major carbon buildup. So, I'm pretty sure I'll be replacing all of them on the right side as you're looking at the front. I've got the harness off, might as well go for it. I don't think it's going to have a big impact replacing one bank versus and not the other. If it does, well, I just end up replacing the other one, but I'll give it a go and we'll see what happens. I'm pretty sure it's not unknown to replace these individually, like fuel injectors, for instance. So on to the next one. Alright, here's all the glow plugs out. Like I said, these are on the right side as you're looking at the front, or these would be on the driver's side, however you want to look at it. The odd thing, at least to me it's odd, I haven't looked up the torque spec, every single one came loose, I swear, with like, I don't know, 0.2 foot-pounds. It was just barely a bit of pressure before they spun out. I probably could have done it by hand if I could have got my fingers on each one correctly. I think that's kind of odd. I'll be looking up the torque specs though before I reinstall the new ones. And once I got them loose, I just used a pair of needle nose to pull them out. If you got a magnet, I'm sure that would be probably easier. I don't have one. So at this point, I'm calling it quits for the day. I'm going to call O'Reilly's and get 4 ordered. They are here locally, but not at the immediate store. So I can call this one and they'll have them transferred over. I'll have them tomorrow. And in the meantime, I'm just going to put little swatches of shop towel in the opening where I pulled out the glow plug, just to make sure we don't get bees, mosquitoes, and whatever else crawling in there in the meantime. So we'll get back. we'll get the new plugs in, we'll get the new harness installed, and then by that time I should have the 2 new screws or bolts that I ordered for the back of the valve cover. And I'll get those openings cleaned up. I'll spray them out probably with brake clean, carb cleaner, or something like that, and then blow them out, make sure there's no threads or residue of any type in there before I screw in the new ones. And of course I'll cover this up before I do that. And then it's reassemble everything, and hopefully I've taken care of that oil problem. We'll be back.